A very good morning to all the students here. We are here for a session on CA Foundation course, Paper 1, Accounting. I'm here on the success at CA exam for the foundation course paper one accounting. My name is CA Priyambada. I am the faculty of accounting subject for foundation course. I welcome you all for the BOS for your success session. Here, BOS is here to help you out to how to write in the examination, what all preparation you need to be do, and what is the last minute preparation that is required so that you can achieve good marks and come up with the flying colors with us. So we already know that we have our exam on 16th of September. Coming 16th of September, we have our accounting exam. So I'm sure you all have completed your preparation or into the process of doing your preparation. Now it's the time for quick revision, and you do not have only one subject, you have other four other subjects, three subjects also. So total you have four subjects. So I'm sure you are preparing well for all the subjects. See, clearing an accounting exam will not only serve the purpose, you have to clear all the exam with 50% marks in totality. So I'm sure you all are preparing well and devoting your time to the studies, focusing on your quality of life as well as sleeping on time, waking up on in the morning on time, devoting your maximum time, utilizing your maximum time and energy over your studies. At this time, spending time with the family and keeping away yourself with the social media. Students, at this stage, this is a very precious time for you guys, right? Because the exams are coming, and this is an entry level exams. Once you are through in this exam, then you have to go for intermediate, then final, and in ultimately you will be chartered accountant. A chartered accountant is always expected to have all the knowledge of all everything related to accounting, finance, taxations. So this is the time to study. At that stage, you'll not be able to ask question to anyone that how to study, why this is happening, and how this is happening if someone is asking you. So it is better to clear your concepts, your application level, everything here, so that at the future level you'll be able to solve your the queries asked by the others. So I'm sure you must have completed your first round of preparation or the second round of preparation as well. And you are now it's the time to give your time 2 to 3 days to every subject, making a quick revision. See, students, if you have done all the chapters of the study material, all the chapters are important. The section wise and skill wise weightage are also hosted on the website. You can see that those sessions posted on the website and have an idea how to apply your mind and how to prioritize things at that stage and come up with an with a flying colors. In case you have any queries, you can please ask your queries also so that we can utilize our time in the best manner. Is there anyone? Wait, someone is saying technical. Is it okay? I think my screen is coming correctly, Mr. Niklesh Jha. Can you see my screen? Omkar wants to
Yes, ma'am.
ask some.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Omkar wants to ask something. Yes, Omkar, tell me. I'll. Yes,
Hello.
yes, Omkar, tell me.
Ma'am, I want to say that mock test 1 and mock test 2 and May 2025 exam. Just that papers is refer further
Your voice is not clear.
one.
Omkar, we can't hear you properly. Omkar?
1 minute. Hello. Bari voice, ma'am.
पूछिए.
I want to say that mock test 1 and mock test 2 and May 2025 exam question papers are refer for the September 2025 preparation or some questions are coming there.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Question is clear. I want to say that mock test 1, mock test 2 of current season and May 2025 question papers that's our paper for the September 2025 exam preparations and some questions are come based on them.
नो सी आपने आरटीपी किया, रिवीजन टेस्ट पेपर भी कर लिया आपने?
Yes.
You sure you're through with this? See, reading will not serve the purpose. You have to solve the questions also. Not only
Okay.
you have to solve the questions. At this stage आप ये बोलें कि मैंने सब कर लिया और आपने सिर्फ रीड किया हो, it will not help you. So please try to solve the question and focus on clearing your concepts more. अगर question, see, the paper will come on the basis of the concepts of the study material only. But yes, your concepts should be clear. जैसे अगर आपने मई 25 का पेपर उठाया है तो डेप्रिसिएशन के क्वेश्चन में एक कॉस्ट इंक्लूजन का एक पोर्शन आया है कि हमने सेकंड मशीनरी खरीदी और उस पर इतना फ्रेट लगाया है. ओमकार जी, आपने करा है मई 25 का पेपर?
Uh, yes, ma'am.
उसमें ये एक पॉइंट था, आपको याद है?
यस यस मैंने इसके लिए पूछा मैंने वो किए ट्राई करके देखा तो मुझे हार्ड लगा था मे का इसलिए मैंने मॉक टेस्ट देखा तो
तो
तब
अब
थोड़ा
आप,
इजी लगा.
ये कॉस्ट इंक्लूड होएगी या नहीं होएगी, फ्रेट सेकंड मशीनरी में? these such kind of points to be taken care of. नॉर्मल क्वेश्चन तो हर कोई कर लेगा, आपको ये छोटे छोटे पॉइंट्स है. इफ यू वांट टू सिक्योर वेरी गुड मार्क्स, आपको इन छोटे पॉइंट्स का भी ध्यान देना जरूरी है. और ये कहाँ लिखा है कि ये वाली कॉस्ट इंक्लूड होएगी या नहीं होएगी? आपकी स्टडी मटेरियल की थियोरी में डेप्रिसिएशन चैप्टर है ना, उसकी थियोरी पढ़ेंगे, वहां पे आपको एक दिया हुआ है, cost attributable to plant and machinery and cost not attributable to the property plant and machinery, property plant and equipment. Okay, ओमकार?
ओके थैंक यू मैम.
ठीक है, तो आप प्लीज, इफ यू आर डूइंग पेपर वेरी गुड, बट यस फोकस ऑन द क्रिटिकल एस्पेक्ट्स ऑल्सो. कॉन्सेप्ट्स को ध्यान रखिए कि क्या कॉन्सेप्ट्स है. फॉर
मैं
एग्जाम्पल पार्टनरशिप में आपको एक एग्जाम्पल दे रही हूँ, लिसन टू मी वंस. पार्टनरशिप में you tell me, in case if there is no agreement between the partners, what, how much salary and how much interest on capital is to be paid? Tell me. ओमकार बताइए.
वेयर मैम कैपिटल एंड डिप्रिसिएशन.
मैं कह रही हूँ इन केस ऑफ पार्टनरशिप इफ देयर इज नो अग्रीमेंट बिटवीन द पार्टनर्स, तो आपको क्या क्या ऑप्शंस दिए जाते हैं, फिर आपको क्या करना है? देन द प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस इज टू बी शेयर्ड इक्वली. Then interest on capital is not to be given. Interest on drawing not to be charged. Interest on partner's loan is to be charged at 6% per annum. So इस ऐसे points में कोई एक true and false question भी आ सकता है. In case of, in absence of a partnership agreement, the profit and loss is to be shared between the partners as per in proportion to their capital. What do you think? What is the answer? Is it true or false?
ट्रू.
Is it true? No, it's
यस.
false. In absence of partnership agreement, profit and loss is to be shared equally among the partners. Okay, Omkar?
यस यस नॉट विद
आपको
द पोर्शन. ओके.
not in proportion of the capital. तो प्लीज फोकस ऑन कॉन्सेप्ट्स. प्रैक्टिस
सॉरी मैम.
करनी ही करनी है आपने, पर कॉन्सेप्ट्स पे भी फोकस करना है. सी सुमित हैज रिटन करेक्टली. यस, इक्वल. ओके ओमकार, क्वेश्चन पूछिए, बट आप रेलेवेंट क्वेश्चन भी पूछिए. ओके, ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट.
यस थैंक यू मैम.
Is there any other query? If you want to ask, you can ask the queries also. Yes, okay, Miss Riddhi, you are correct. I can see many people are preparing well and they are responding very nice. बहुत ही अच्छी बात है. At this stage, see, हमारा confidence, अपना confidence नहीं lose करना. We have to build a very good confidence and we have to be very confident that whatever we are doing it correctly. But that confidence will come only and only if you practice more. If your hand knows the question, how do you have to do the question and why are you doing that question, you'll be able to solve the questions. Okay, but yes, if you have practiced those questions well, you'll be able to answer. But the same question, if you have not practiced anywhere, anytime, you'll take more time to solve the question. See, student, आज की date में at this stage, solving the paper is important, but solving the paper smartly and strategically is equally important. See, it's an accounting paper, little time consuming paper, but yes, if you know the answers well and if you have practiced well at this
Ma'am,
stage,
1 minute. One
yes,
minute. What strategy and strategy use for this as per you say?
as in what strategy, what about strategy about?
Accounts.
I'll be
Account papers.
discussing I'll be discussing this in the session. Okay? Okay, I'll be discussing this in the session. Please
Thank
see
you.
the session and keep yourself mute. Okay? If you want to ask query, you're requested to raise the hands and you can ask the queries. Okay? All right. So where were we? Yes, solving the paper strategically is equally important. All right. I am sure you must be knowing the section wise and skill wise weightage, but yes, I will remind you about the section wise and skill wise weightage. Give me a minute. Okay. Here, see, section wise weightage are hosted on the website only. Yeah. See, for chapter 1 is section 1. The weightage is 5 to 10% of weightage. I would like to tell you your paper will be for comprising of 6 questions. Each questions will be for 20 marks each, where first question will be compulsory. First question will be compulsory, and out of those 5 questions you have to do 4 questions. See, first question is compulsory, which is of 20 marks, and then out of 5 questions you have to do 4 questions. So 4 into 20, 80 marks plus 20 marks this. So it comes out to be 100 marks. This way it is for 100 marks. Now at this stage I would like to tell you which chapter comprises of how much weightage. We usually tend to leave the question chapter called theoretical framework, since it's a theory questions. Ma'am, whether the theory is important or not, students, I'm telling you, this theory is the most scoring part here. Theoretical framework comprises of 5 to 10% of weightage. 5 to 10% of weightage. See, if the paper is of 120 marks, 5 to 10% is a very good marks. See, question number 1B, a theory portion usually come from this. Or either a question from capital or revenue expenditure. What benefits a chartered accountant, how the chartered accountant contributes to the society, money measurements concept, accounting conventions, accounting principles, anything could be asked. But yes, for this, you don't have to mug up everything. You just have to remember the concepts. What is money measurement concept? What is conventions, accounting conventions? What are the accounting conventions? So it is not important to mug up everything rather than only understand things. It's fine. Usually, what is the difference in capital and revenue expenditure? But sometimes the question asks whether this cost is a capital expenditure or revenue expenditure. It could be asked in the form of true and false. It could be asked in the form of a theoretical question. Differentiate between revenue and capital expenditure. Or these are the cost. A 4 mark or a 5 mark questions can be asked. These are the cost, whether it's a capital or revenue expenditure. So if you know the nature of expenditure, why this capital expenditure incurred and what is the nature of revenue expenditure, you'll be able to secure marks in this, and that's an easy get or go marks, 4 or 5 marks. Okay, so theoretical framework is very important chapter. It is not only important at this stage, it is important at the future stage also. While when once you're through, once you're a chartered accountant, see the accounting paper is at all the 3 levels, so you can understand how important this subject is, and how important and how critical this subject is. Once you're through with your foundation, the basic concepts of accounting are cleared with you, then you'll be able to understand at the intermediate level where the accounting standards are covered. So that at that stage you have to see how the accounting standard, what measurements, what critical areas we need to take care. And then at the final stage, then you'll be a treated as a chartered accountant, where the questions would be asked about the NDS as well. All right, so you should be very thorough. The foundation, the basic concepts are being taught at this stage only. Once you are through with this is the first step. You'll be able to go to the second as well as the third step. Okay, so theoretical concept contribute to 5 to 10% of the weightage. Then section 2 comprises of, yeah, sorry. Section 2 comprises of accounting process. Accounting process, you know that this is a very basic chapter where recording of transaction through journal, then posting it into ledger, preparing trial balance, what are the subsidiary books, cash books, and then rectification of errors. How these, if the recording is done in incorrectly, how to correct that. Fine. So accounting process is also important, not only for the examination perspective. Examination perspective is equally important. See, for rectification of errors, we 90% in 90% cases we get a question on rectification of errors. So you can understand how important this chapter is. One of the student was asking a query, ma'am, please revise this chapter, rectification of errors, since I've skipped this chapter. Student, you should not skip this chapter. This is a very important chapter. Sometimes a question of 10 marks, sometimes a question of 5 marks, but it's okay. See, if you know the types of errors and the small things in the rectification of errors, you'll be able to understand. I'll give you a review of the rectification of errors, don't worry. Then trial balance, sometimes we get a question on a trial balance. You prepare a trial balance, this is an incorrect trial balance, then prepare a correct trial balance. These questions also come in the exam. I'm telling you the type of questions that does come in the exams. Okay. Then bank reconciliation statement, inventories, depreciation and amortization, then bills of exchange and promissory note. All these comprises of 30 to 35% of weightage, which is a very good weightage. And these are all basic concepts of accounting, right? For section 1 and 2 comprises of the basic concepts of accounting, that these concepts should be cleared, should be taken care of when at all the levels, right? Once you are doing your articleship, once you'll be a chartered accountant, you have to prepare BRS for your entities. Though then you'll not be able to ask how to solve this BRS, how to prepare this BRS. So the concepts, why BRS is prepared and how to identify the errors, how to identify the differences, these are explained in this chapter. And if your concepts are clear, you'll be able to solve the question. Okay, so all these chapter, usually question number 2 of your paper comes from this section only. Question number 2 comprises of 20 marks, which have 2 questions, which comes from this, usually this. Question number 1, I think 1C also, and question number 2 also. So 24 marks are with you. Okay. Then now completing the basic concept, now you come to the preparation of financial statement. So section 3 comes to the preparation of financial statement of the sole proprietor, that is the proprietors. Then preparation of not for profit organization, and then the single accounting for incomplete records. Single entry system, how the single entry system can be converted into a double entry system, right? So this section comprises of 20 to 25% of weightage. In this question, such kind of questions, usually full financial statements are asked, whether to prepare trading, P&L, balance sheet, or either manufacturing account, then to prepare the financial statements for NPO. So such kind of questions, accounting for incomplete records, such kinds of questions are usually big. So you require time, a dedicated time for this. But yes, if you have practiced these questions at your home through your own hand, you'll be able to solve these questions very well. Okay. Now, this is an application oriented question. These are big questions. Sometimes a small question can also be asked to calculate the cost of manufacturing entity, just to calculate the prepare a manufacturing account where the WIP as well as the finished goods cost, WIP, all the things are given. So it could be in any way. This is the discretion of the examiner. Okay, now it comes to the section 4, which is dedicated to partnership and LLP account. And 50 to 20% of the weightage comes from the partnerships and LLP account. Okay, where you already know that this chapter comprises of 6 units, and this will be all a full-fledged question. It could be a full-fledged question or could be a small question, anything, right? So here in this question, this chapter comprises of introduction, what is partnership, what is interest on capital, fixed capital, fluctuating capital. Then comes to goodwill, how the goodwill is calculated, methods of goodwill, and how is the treatment of goodwill and under various scenarios. Then admission, retirement, death and dissolution of the partnership firms and LLPs. How is the accounting treatment, how the financial statements are prepared during these scenarios, what is to be done at this stage, and at the and dissolution, if the firm is dissolved, what accounts to be treated by prepared, and what are the various methods of distributions, right? So this only this chapter number 10 comprises of 15 to 20% of the weightage, which is section 4. Coming towards the section 5. Section 5 is company account. This is also we have a chapter 11, company account, comprising of 6 units, where we have what are shares, debentures, different types of shares and debentures, then issue of shares, what redemption, forfeiture, these all things can be asked in this. Then the redemption of the preference shares and debentures, and then accounting for bonus issues, right issue, all these are covered in this paper, in this unit. So we already have 6 units for this. See student, under this, usually a question number 6a comes from the company account, where usually a question is asked from the forfeitures of the shares. So you already know what is forfeiture or reissue or calls in arrears, calls in advance, which is covered in this unit 2. Unit 2 or unit 3. So unit 2, you if you are through with unit 2, you will be able to secure that question. The question usually comes from the 15 marks, usually come for 15 marks. So I would request you to practice these questions more. If you have not, even if you have not done this, you can start doing this. And I'm telling you, this 15 marks question, if you are through and you know the calculation, you know the entries, usually the question is asked from the journal entry, then an extract of balance sheet. What we do is we keep on practicing the journal entries, and we do not practice the balance sheet extract. Balance sheet extract is also given with the notes, right? Where how the share capital, note on share capital are prepared, and how the extract of share capitals and reserves and surplus is to be prepared. So please practice that also. And if you are through with this, I'm telling you, this question is not 10 to 12 minutes question. You can easily do this question in only 10 to 12 minutes. So practice these questions. It's not that difficult, and if you are thorough with the concepts, you'll be able to solve this question. And don't worry, students, many times I receive this query, ma'am, if I have done any calculation errors and if you have done anything wrong, one small thing wrong, will I be not given marks? Always, there will always be step marking. So you don't worry about that. Okay, so please practice this question, but that doesn't mean the other units of this question is not important. This part is section is not important. Accounting for bonus issue, right issue, redemption of preference shares, redemption of debentures. Usually question number 5c comes from this. Usually question number 5c comes from this part only. So you also practice these questions, but the question usually comes from preparing the balance sheet, preparing the posting the journal entries. So practicing more will be able to secure good marks. Here in the partnership accounts, as well as in preparing this sole proprietor financial statement preparation, here you need to tally your balance sheet. But at this stage, chapter number 11, usually question come to prepare your this journal entries, to post your journal entries, as well as prepare notes to accounts or the extract of balance sheet. So it is comparatively a scoring unit for this issue and redemption of shares, and forfeitures of shares, reissue, issue, forfeitures and reissue of forfeited shares. Okay, so these are all the section wise weightage. You know how to plan and how to revise at this stage. Rather than devoting time on the social medias, talking to your friends, how many topics you have done, I have done only this topic, whether I'll be able to clear it or not. Do not discuss such questions. I would request you to focus on your studies, to your course, your subject. You are the best judge for yourself and you know where you stand. And I'm sure you'll be, if you are studying well, you are concentrating on your studies and devoting time on yourself, you'll be able to secure good marks in the examination. See, student, passing should not be a criteria. Getting good marks should be the criteria for securing marks, for to be a good chartered accountant. At this stage, you should always, this is a very scoring paper, you should always come up with the good marks. And please do inform us, to mail us at BoS that yes, we have come up with the flying colors, we have come up with such good marks. We would be happy to hear from you. Okay. Okay, yes, let me take some queries, then I'll be discussing how would be the pattern of the paper. Okay. Okay. Okay, Mr. Nikhilesh Jha is asking to discuss this rectification. Okay, rectification of errors. See, rectification, what is the rectification of errors? You have done some errors. Suppose an accountant has done some errors. How do we have to rectify those errors? We have different types of errors. Error of omission. Error of omissions means accountant has omitted to post an entry. There could be a partial omission, there could be a full omission, that he has omitted to post half of the entry or he has omitted to post the whole transaction. Then error of omission, then error of principle. What is the error of principle? Principally, as per the accounting treatment, principally something has done wrong, right? Then after that, if it is a error of principle, error of omission, then compensating error. What is a compensating error? One error is being compensated with the other one. See, if I have done the two errors, one error which is being compensated with the other one. Then we have fourth error. Just a second. Error of omission, error of commission. Then we have not discussed error of commission. Have we discussed error of commission? I would like to tell you one table. There is a table at page number 2.131. You can go through that table in your study material. You can easily understand how is the what is the rectification of errors. What are the types of rectification of errors? In error of commission, you have posted wrong entry. Maybe wrong entry in your subsidiary book, posted an entry with the wrong amount, posted an entry in the wrong account. Such kinds of errors are called as error of commission. Okay, so these are different types of errors for where we have to post the entry. Please see illustration 1, which is very one of the important illustration also, then illustration 7 and 8. Sometimes what happens is the books of accounts are closed with a difference in the suspense account. That there is some error, but there is a difference in the suspense account. Right. So this is accounting when a rectification of error in the next accounting period. So in the another accounting year, we have to rectify those errors. That rectification is to be done through P&L adjustment account. P&L adjustment account are usually used for the nominal accounts, right? So in case if there is a rectification in rectification entry, if you are posting a rectification entry and a nominal account is used, you have to use that P&L adjustment account. Okay. So this way, this is a small and quick revision. Please try to solve illustration 7, illustration 8, then practical questions. All the practical questions are equally important so that you can have a hang and you can thoroughly go through it. Do you know why I've said the illustration 1 is important? Illustration 1 is a conceptual question. If the error is only at one side, so how to solve these questions, rectify the error? So please go. Each and every question is important, students. If I'm telling you a question, I'm telling you a question from my perspective that yes, this has a more conceptual clarity. You should go through all these questions. Okay. I hope. Wait. I hope, Nilesh, things are clear to you. Do you want to ask something, Nilesh? Nilesh? Okay, let's proceed. अच्छा, आपको हिंदी लैंग्वेज में मेरे को बोलना है अजय जी, आई विल टेक केयर। मैं जो भी चीज एक्सप्लेन करूंगी आपको हिंदी में भी एक्सप्लेन करूंगी। ठीक है। आप, इज देयर एनीथिंग यू, ओके, इफ यू हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड, कुछ आपको नहीं समझ आया तो प्लीज लेट मी नो। ठीक है। अच्छा ओमकार जी, अभी भी आपकी क्वेरी है, प्लीज बताइए क्या क्वेरी है।
मैम, जैसे आपने बताया क्वेश्चन पेपर का, तो मैंने मई का किया था।
हम्म।
उसमें से जो क्वेश्चन है ना, कुछ 3-4 क्वेश्चन है, वो मुझे ये नहीं समझा कि कौन से चैप्टर से आए हैं। मैं आपको क्वेश्चन नंबर बताऊं? आप बता सकते हैं?
मेरे को क्वेश्चन पेपर खोलना पड़ेगा, आप 1 मिनट रुकिए।
चलेगा।
आप रुकिए 1 मिनट, क्वेश्चन पेपर खोल लेते हैं। हाँ जी, बताइए कौन से क्वेश्चन क्वेश्चन आपको लगा कि, बताइए।
मैम, हाँ, क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 बी, बेस्ड ऑन विच चैप्टर? ये नहीं समझा मुझे, इसलिए वो हार्ड गया था सॉल्व
क्वेश्चन
करके।
नंबर 4B is your study material question of chapter 7, unit 1. It is there in the study material. Should I tell you the illustration number also?
यस, 7।
सेम क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है, आपकी स्टडी मटेरियल में दिया हुआ है। दिस वाज अ स्कोरिंग क्वेश्चन फॉर May 25. I'll tell you the illustration. I think illustration 5.
मैम,
रुकिए रुकिए, आपको मैं बता रही हूँ। इलस्ट्रेशन 5 है या इलस्ट्रेशन 7 है? आपने करा है चैप्टर 7 की है, अकाउंटिंग फॉर सोल प्रोप्राइटर, इलस्ट्रेशन 7, द बैलेंस शीट ऑफ थापर। आप देखेंगे ना बैलेंस शीट ऑफ थापर, ये सेम वही क्वेश्चन है, थापर वाला क्वेश्चन है।
1 मिनट में वही देख रहा हूँ, रजिस्ट्रेशन 7।
चैप्टर 7। ओके।
मैम, पेज नंबर
7.40।
7.40। हाँ, यस, सेम वही है। ओके, ओके,
अब हम
ओके।
सेक्शन आगे करते हैं, राइट।
मैम, मैम, अगला है क्वेश्चन।
हम्म।
जो अब क्वेश्चन 5 में है ना,
हम्म।
5 में सेकंड वाला बी का सेकंड,
हम्म।
वो कौन से चैप्टर बेस है?
आपने पढ़ाई की है ना?
ही है मैडम, पर ये जब सॉल्व कर रहा था ना क्वेश्चन पेपर, ये मुझे
आपने
आए नहीं थे
पढ़ाई
तो।
की है? क्या, कौन सा क्वेश्चन है? क्वेश्चन 5B का सेकंड पार्ट।
यस, मैंने स्किप किए थे सॉल्व करते समय।
ना, लास्ट लाइन पढ़िए, क्या पढ़ा है, लास्ट लाइन क्या लिखी हुई है, पढ़िए।
सेल्स बुक ऑफ डिजिटल स्टोर।
हाँ, मेक आउट सेल्स बुक ऑफ डिजिटल स्टोर। सेल्स बुक क्या होती है आपसे?
सेल्स बुक्स कंपनी का सेल्स वगैरह शो करती है। पर
सब्सिडरी बुक है, ही इज आस्किंग फॉर अ सब्सिडरी बुक, एंड दिस इज ऑल्सो अ स्टडी मटेरियल क्वेश्चन, सेम स्टडी मटेरियल क्वेश्चन। चैप्टर 2, यूनिट 4, सब्सिडरी बुक्स। इलस्ट्रेशन नंबर भी आपको जानना है, आप उसमें देखिएगा, सेल्स क्वेश्चन, सेल्स बुक्स जहां पे बनाई हुई है यही वाला क्वेश्चन दिया हुआ है। ओके।
मैम,
हाँ
मैम,
जी।
थैंक्स फॉर दैट।
हम्म।
एंड and C is based on the partnership final accounts of sole proprietors. C 5C, because their capital base.
This is based on company accounts. This is
Sorry.
a company account question. Chapter 11, Unit 5. Okay. Right
Hmm.
issue and bonus issue. Not Unit 5, Unit 4. And test your
Unit
knowledge
4.
question. This is a test
Okay.
knowledge question.
Okay. And ma'am, last 6A,
Hmm.
15 mark question.
Hmm.
Which
यही मैं
chapter
अभी
से?
कर रही थी। अभी आपने मेरी बात सुनी थी जो मैं अभी आपको डिस्कस कर रही थी, व्हेन आई वाज डिस्कसिंग द सेक्शन वाइज वेटेज।
Yes, yes, सुनीत.
सुनी थी? तो मैंने क्या
Yes,
बताया था, सिक्स क्वेश्चन कहाँ से आता है यूजुअली?
previous question papers.
नहीं, मैंने क्या बोला था अभी? आप मेरा सेशन सुन रहे हैं?
Yes, कंटिन्यू कर रहा हूँ मैं.
हाँ, तो बताओ मैंने क्या बोला था फिर इसके लिए? अभी मैंने जस्ट अभी डिस्कस किए 5 मिनट्स बिफोर, 10 मिनट्स बिफोर दिस
यूजुअली
क्वेश्चन।
मैम फोर फीचर और डी इश्यू का.
तो फिर और ये क्वेश्चन किसका है?
कंपनी अकाउंट्स.
4 फीचर का। ओके।
Thank you, ma'am.
ओके, इज देयर एनीथिंग एल्स, एनी अदर क्वेरी? यू कैन आस्क योर क्वेरी स्टूडेंट्स। आप अभी पूछ सकते हैं, इट विल बी हेल्पफुल फॉर यू। हाँ, मैम कैन आई स्किप मेकिंग LF कॉलम फॉर द जर्नल? मिस प्रीति इज आस्किंग, आपको क्यों स्किप करना है LF कॉलम? आप बना लीजिए, छोटा सा ही तो कॉलम बनाना होता है, तो स्किप क्यों करना है? सी स्टूडेंट्स, मेक द एग्जामिनर नो दैट यू नो ऑल द फॉर्मेट्स एंड नो एवरीथिंग। आपको जब पता है कि ये बनता है, तो फिर आपको स्किप क्यों करना है? ओके, एंड आई होप प्लीज ऑल कीप योर सेल्फ ऑन द म्यूट। Yes, Niklesh, you have a doubt. Please tell me. You want me to unmute? Okay.
मैम कंपनी अकाउंट से थ्योरेटिकल क्वेश्चन आ सकता है.
बिल्कुल आ सकता है। 2 मार्क का उसका क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, क्या कहते हैं, ट्रू एंड फॉल्स क्वेश्चन आ सकता है। शेयर्स इशूड एट ए डिस्काउंट, कैन वी इशू द शेयर्स एट ए डिस्काउंट?
नो मैम.
Then except in case of sweat equity shares we cannot issue shares at a discount। ऐसे क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं। कोई थियोरी क्वेश्चन, आप ये नहीं बोल सकते, मैं ये नहीं बोल सकती कि किसी के लिए थियोरी आएगा या किसी चीज के लिए क्या प्रैक्टिकल आएगा। थियोरी इसलिए दिया गया है ताकि आपकी कंसेप्ट क्लियर हो, कंसेप्ट क्लैरिटी के लिए आपको थियोरी दी गई है। तो आपको सारी चीजें पता होनी बहुत जरूरी है। उस चैप्टर में कैसे टाइप्स ऑफ शेयर्स होते हैं, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ शेयर्स कैसे होते हैं, ये सब आपको पता होना जरूरी है। ओके। ओके निकलेश जी।
मैम
हाँ जी।
एंड मैम डिफरेंसेस जो है इक्विटी शेयर और प्रेफरेंस शेयर का,
हम्म।
उसका उसको ज्यादा वेटेज देके पूरा उसको कर लें कि उसको स्किप कर सकते हैं, बस नॉलेज के लिए उसको रिमेम्बर कर लें.
देखो, आपको सब चीजें समझना है, रादर देन लर्निंग थिंग्स यू शुड नो द कंसेप्ट्स इन योर माइंड। आपको वहां पे अपनी लैंग्वेज में, इंग्लिश में लिखना है। आप रटिए नहीं किसी भी चीज को, ठीक है?
यस मैम, पूरा समझ चुके हैं कि उसमें क्या है. बस उसका जो लैंग्वेज है बुक का, उसके जगह पर हम अपना लैंग्वेज सेट कर देंगे अगर वो पूछे
हाँ
तो.
जी, हाँ जी, आपको डिफरेंस पता होना जरूरी है कि क्या डिफरेंस है। इन केस अगर हम डिविडेंड पे किया जाता है तो पहले किसको दिया जाता है? पहले प्रेफरेंस शेयर
प्रेफरेंस शेयर
होल्डर्स को
होल्डर को.
दिया जाता है,
यस
राइट?
मैम.
और इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स क्या होते हैं? ओनर्स होते हैं, दे आर द ओनर्स। तो वो प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर्स नहीं होते। ठीक है, तो दिस वे आपको ये सारे डिफरेंस आपको छोटे छोटे पता होने चाहिए। आप अपनी लैंग्वेज में लिख सकते हैं वहां पे, ठीक है?
ओके, थैंक यू मैम.
प्लीज कीप योर सेल्फ ऑन म्यूट। ओमकार जी, प्लीज रिमूव योर हैंड। आपने, आपकी क्वेरीज रिजॉल्व हो गई हैं। ओके। अच्छा, Ajay ji, Mr. Ajay is asking September 25 में अक्टूबर 2023 का सिलेबस क्वेश्चन टाइप पेपर आने वाला है क्या मैम? मेरे को आपकी क्वेरी समझ नहीं आई है अजय जी, आपकी क्वेरी समझ नहीं आई है. ओके, चलो, कमिंग टूवर्ड्स, I would like to tell you, yes, what strategy you should follow while preparing. You already know the syllabus of accounting, that accounting has 11 chapters. Each chapter is equally important, and how all the concepts are equally important. Then you have to create a study plan. Now you have to create your revision plan. And under how many days you'll be completing your accounting subject, as well as how much time you'll be devoting on your topics. For example, see, if you have company accounts, if you have big company accounts, if you have partnership accounts, this require a lot of time. So at least for understanding the concept, for revising the concepts also, you require more time to complete, as much as time you require for this accounting process, BRS, rectification of errors, this way. So you have to create your own study plan. What chapter can you mingle your one big chapter with one small chapter, or you want to study through section wise, completing the sequence? That is also a good criteria for studying. See, the sequence given in the study material is very good. If you follow this sequence, this is the pure way for understanding the concept first, understanding the basic accounting concepts in a BRS inventory, and then going towards the financial, preparing the financial statements. Right? The sequence of the book is very good, but you have to be thorough with this. Okay, then gain conceptual understanding. I'm focusing this again and again. Yeah, you should always gain conceptual understanding. You should always know all the concepts. Then solve all the questions of the study material. सारे questions solve करने आपको study material के. Then memorize the concept. You should know all the concepts. Prepare, compile summaries to enable the revision. Now at this stage, आप अगर आप if you are revising it, for the last day or 1 or 2 days before, please write small notes in your own hands, so that at the time of revision, just reading through that point will help you to understand the concept. Right? Then regular revision from MTPs and model test papers. Model test papers, if you have time, please solve those papers also. They are also good source of practice for you. Then maintain a healthy lifestyle. At this stage, stay focused, eat healthy, spend your time with the family rather than spending your time on social media network. Stay away yourself from phone, from these social networking sites, and stay motivated and positive. At this stage, you should be very positive. You should able to solve all the questions now. And if you are unable to solve any question, if you are unable to tally any balance sheet while you are doing a question, don't worry, don't panic at this stage. It's okay. See where you are lacking. See from the solution, verify yourself. And if there is some small error, you can always rectify that. See, it is better to know your error at this stage rather than knowing at the examination stage. आपको इस टाइम अगर पता चलता है कि आपकी कौन सा एरर है, आप क्यों बैलेंस शीट टैली नहीं कर पा रहे, कहाँ नहीं कर पा रहे, अगर आपको वो पता चल रहा है इस स्टेज पे, ये ज्यादा अच्छा है. वहां पे पेपर में आप वो वाली मिस्टेक नहीं करेंगे, सिंस यू ऑलरेडी नो दैट यू आर लैकिंग हियर. आपको पता है कि यहाँ पे आपकी गलती हो जाती है. व्हेन यू विल बी सॉल्विंग द पेपर, जब आप पेपर सॉल्व करेंगे, तो आप इजीली वो वाली गलती आपको याद आ जाएगी कि हाँ, मैंने वो जब मैं प्रैक्टिस कर रहा था या कर रही थी, तो मेरे से वो गलती हुई थी. सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू प्रैक्टिस. राइट? जरूरी नहीं है आप प्रॉपर जैसे पेपर में लाइंस करेंगे वैसे सॉल्व करिए. आप थोड़ा स्मॉल फॉर्मेट में भी कर सकते हैं, पर यस, करिए क्वेश्चन, छोटे छोटे क्वेश्चन. जरूरी नहीं है आपको सारे क्वेश्चन करने हैं. जो इलिस्ट्रेशन आपको लगती है जिसके अंदर बहुत सारे कंसेप्ट हैं और थोड़े डिफिकल्ट है, आपको कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है, आपको लग रहा है ये वाला इलिस्ट्रेशन थोड़ा सा मेरे लिए डिफिकल्ट है, तो आप वो वाला क्वेश्चन तो जरूर सॉल्व करिए. जरूर आपको हाथ से प्रैक्टिस करना जरूरी है दिस स्टेज. आप देखेंगे चैप्टर 7 बहुत आसान चैप्टर है. कुछ चैप्टर्स आप लोगों के लिए बहुत आसान होंगे, जो कॉमर्स बैकग्राउंड के लिए होंगे वो दे मस्ट बी थिंकिंग दैट दीज आर वेरी इजी क्वेश्चंस, क्योंकि मैंने पहले भी पढ़ा हुआ है. अग्रीड, आप लोगों ने सबने पढ़ाई की है. नॉन कॉमर्स बैकग्राउंड वाले सोचेंगे कि ये मेरे को आता है या नहीं आता, बट आई एम टेलिंग यू फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू, whether you are a commerce background student or not, You have to practice each and every question very well. बार बार प्रैक्टिस कीजिए, बार बार लिखिए कैसे हमें सॉल्व करने हैं क्वेश्चन, ठीक है? पर selective study rather than doing all the question in one go, illustration 1 2 3, no. Select an illustration which covers more concepts than practical test your knowledge questions. What we usually do is हम chapter देखते हैं, concepts पढ़ते हैं, हम test your knowledge questions तक आते हैं, we tend to lose our confidence and we tend to lose our patience. चलो ये chapter हो गया, let's move ahead. आई एम टेलिंग यू स्टूडेंट्स, बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस कई बार आते हैं जो टेस्ट योर नॉलेज क्वेश्चंस पे से आते हैं। जैसे अभी May 25 का क्वेश्चन पेपर हमने खोला था, पेपर क्वेश्चन नंबर 5C, दैट वाज फ्रॉम टेस्ट योर नॉलेज क्वेश्चन। सेम क्वेश्चन आपके टेस्ट योर नॉलेज यूनिट 4 में दिया हुआ है। सो यू शुड नॉट लीव दैट। आपके जो भी कंसेप्ट होंगे इसी में से ही आएंगे, थोड़ा सा घुमा के पूछ लिया जाएगा। बट येस, टू टेल यू द ट्रूथ, सारे क्वेश्चंस एक जैसे नहीं होंगे। There could be this, the paper would be blend of questions, some easier questions, some with some good adjustments, some with some normal adjustments. So you should not always think पेपर में हमेशा स्कोप होएगा मार्क्स लाने का, गुड मार्क्स लाने का। सो फोकस, आपने आपके कंसेप्ट क्लियर है, आपने प्रैक्टिस की है, आप 100% आप गुड मार्क्स लेकर आएंगे, ठीक है? See, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. आपको, you should not give up at this stage. Please focus on your studies. I'm sure you'll be able to get good marks. The most certain way to succeed is just to try one more time. Lifestyle habits, sound sleep. Please give yourself time to sleep. 7 hours usually. So what students do, okay हमने पढ़ाई कर ली, चलो let's see Instagram for a while, और हम Instagram देखते देखते it takes around 1 hour, 1.5 hour, and then you tend to sleep. You lag your 1 hour sleep for Instagram. Students, this is your time. Instagram is not going anywhere. Facebook is not going anywhere. आप फ्यूचर में कभी भी देख सकते हैं, but this is your time. Once you are a chartered accountant, you are chartered accountant. Do not excuse yourself. You're doing this for your family. You're doing this for this. No, you will be chartered accountant. All the benefits pertaining to chartered accountant will be yours. You will be there in the society as a chartered accountant. So devote time on yourself. And it's a very easier course. बहुत आसान कोर्स है आप अगर ध्यान देंगे, but yes, it's a professional course. It requires more efforts, more concentration for you, more efforts and more time. Everything is required here. Okay? Stay away from distraction. I'm not saying to stay away from your family. Family is your biggest motivation. जितना सपोर्ट आपको आपकी फैमिली करेगी वो कोई नहीं करेगा. So please be take help from them. उनको, आपको अगर सपोर्ट की जरूरत है उनसे आप सपोर्ट लीजिए. Okay? See, the paper of accounting, अब आपको revise करना है. You should study all the topics in an integrated manner. The objective should be to gain a conceptual understanding, as it is the foundation for future studies in accounting, and develop an ability to answer practical questions by applying that conceptual understanding gained so far. So it is important to have conceptual understanding. Okay. Is there any query if you want to ask? Student is asking what chapter 6 and chapter 9, सारे chapters important है. मैं एक chapter के लिए नहीं बोल सकती ओमकार, सब chapters equally important है. Okay. Relevant BOS inputs, study material you already know. Then Saransh is also hosted on ICAI website. I'll show you Saransh here. देखिए, हम ICAI पे गए, New Scheme of Education and Training. Here we have Saransh. फाउंडेशन कोर्स पेपर 1 अकाउंटिंग। आप यहाँ पे सारी थियोरी या कंसेप्ट यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड हियर, बट यस इट डज नॉट सब्स्टिट्यूट योर स्टडी मटेरियल। स्टडी मटेरियल तो आपको पढ़ना ही पढ़ना है। ओके, MCQ practice portal, we have an MCQ practice portal also. Revision test paper I've already discussed with you. The revision test paper for September 2025 examination also is also there. Then suggested answers, mock test paper and model test paper booklet. And your August 2024 edition of study material is applicable for the September 2025 examination. Now, see, this time I'm assuming that you have already prepared your notes into this, translate your notes, knowledge into brief notes. Then you may support diagrams, and at the later age, at this stage now, you will be revising with lesser time and lesser efforts. Okay, I would like to tell you the paper pattern also. We have already discussed the paper pattern. Just a minute. That the paper will comprise of 6 questions. First question will be a compulsory question, and then out of those other questions, you'll be having 5 questions. Out of the 5 questions, you will be choosing 4 questions where you have to solve those 4 questions. One tip, students, do not leave any single question. You have to solve the paper. You have 180 minutes. Prioritize yourself. Plan and strategize yourself कि हमें पेपर को कैसे solve करना है. So 180 minutes, you have to solve the paper. And you have some bonus minutes, that is bonus 15 minutes to read the paper. Now I tell you the question 1 is first question number 1. 1A would comprise of 12 marks where we have 6 true and false questions. 6 true and false questions may each question will be asking you whether it is true or false, and it should be backed by a good reasoning. A reasoning should also be mentioned over there. Agreed? So, true and false question along with the reasoning. If you give only true and only false, you'll not gain marks. You have to reply with a reasoning. And reasoning you'll be able to understand if you know the concepts properly. Then this is 12 mark questions, 6 true and false questions. Then second 1B would be for 4 marks, usually a theory question. Then 1C would be an application oriented question, a practical question, a 4 mark question. It could come from depreciation also, it could come from preparing a trial balance also, anything, small rectification of errors question. So it could be anything, right? Question 2 is usually from section 2, the accounting process and all those chapter till chapter 6. This is a pure big question. The combination could be 10, 2 parts are usually asked, right? It could be 10 plus 10 or 15 plus 5 or 12 plus 8 or 8 plus 12, vice versa. This could be, the questions could be like this. So could be rectification or BRS, or rectification or depreciation or rectification inventories. So any question can be asked from there. Okay. Then question 3, usually here the question is asked to prepare the full final accounts, either from the partnership or financial statement for sole proprietor or NPO. This could also comprise of 2 parts or 3 parts, usually 2 parts. Question 3 and 4, which is usually covered from section 3 and section 4, right? Considering all the questions. Okay, then question number 5 usually comprises of 3 parts. Question number 1 comprises of the small 5 mark question, which may be from section 2. Then 2 comprises, could be from section 2 or section 3 or section 4. That's an examiner choice. And then 5C is usually from section 5, that is company accounts. Could be from issue of bonus share, redemption of preference shares, redemption of debentures. So that ways. Then question 6, I told you question 6A usually come from this company account. Company account where the question is asked from the forfeiture, reissue, or either from calls in arrears or calls in advance. Then a theory question could be asked from 6B, or there could be a practical oriented question also. Okay, so this would be the pattern of the paper. this full pattern of the paper, where I've discussed you that this questions could be asked from these sections. Okay, now during the examination hall, what all do you need to do at that stage? See, you also have 15 minutes. I have a query also. Wait, I'll tell you. Ma'am, chapter 9 minimum कितने marks का आएगा? Chapter 9 is accounting from incomplete records. सी स्टूडेंट, मैं नहीं बता सकती कौन सा चैप्टर कितने मार्क्स का आएगा. सेक्शन वाइज वेटेज पे आप जाइए, आप देखिए उस सेक्शन की कितनी वेटेज है, तो आपको पता चल जाएगा. ओके, सो क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड फ्रॉम सोल प्रोप्राइटर, और क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड फ्रॉम दिस एनपीओ. ओके, अच्छा, स्टूडेंट इज आस्किंग हाउ टू ज्वाइन थ्रू जूम. आपको बीओएस नॉलेज पोर्टल पे प्लीज लॉग इन थ्रू बीओएस नॉलेज पोर्टल, देन क्लिक ऑन द सक्सेस एट सीए एग्जाम paper 1, and there is a zoom link over there, and you can join through the zoom link over there. Okay, okay, so now coming towards the examination hall. For example, you would be given a paper at 1:45, that is 1:45. Now what do you have to do, how to effectively utilize this 15 minutes? Start reading, going thoroughly to the question paper at this stage. Read word by word. All the questions you should read word by word at this stage. What usually we do is we tend to read what we want to read. Suppose we have done a question, this means is, suppose we have done a question of partnership account, and almost the same question has been asked over there. But in my study material, the question was asking to prepare revaluation account as well as partners capital account. But the difference in this question paper is that they have asked you to prepare the balance sheet also, along with one different adjustment. The proportionate capital, the capital is to be fixed for rupees this. But what we usually do is we tend to read what we have already done. हमने वो वाली एडजस्टमेंट को इग्नोर कर दिया और इधर पढ़ने में ज्यादा ध्यान ही नहीं दिया. और व्हेन वी आर रीडिंग द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ क्वेश्चन, वी मिस्ड रीडिंग बैलेंस शीट. What do? We tend to lose marks in our examination. So it is very important, this 15 minutes are the crucial time to read and go through each and every word of the question paper thoroughly. इस टाइम पे आपकी कोई भी कंसंट्रेशन नहीं हटनी चाहिए. सावधानी हटी, दुर्घटना घटी. At this stage आपका एक एक word important है. What another mistake we do is, when we read the question is only asking us to prepare two accounts, revaluation and partners capital. But we don't read the requirement of the question. You're asked to prepare what? We don't read that because we already know ये तो पार्टनरशिप का क्वेश्चन है, हमारा रिवैल्यूएशन बनाना होगा, पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट बनाना होगा और बैलेंस शीट बनानी होगी, एंड वी स्टार्ट मेकिंग द बैलेंस शीट. एंड गॉड फॉरबिडन इफ द बैलेंस शीट इज नॉट टैलीड, कहीं पे टैली नहीं हुई, वील वेस्ट अनदर 15 मिनट्स इन टैलिंग द बैलेंस शीट. एंड अल्टीमेटली घर आके हमने देखा यार बैलेंस शीट तो बनानी ही नहीं थी. व्हाई डिड वी वेस्टेड आवर टाइम? So requirement of the question is equally important. Do not waste your time on those requirement which are not mentioned. ठीक है, इस टाइम पे बिल्कुल कंसंट्रेशन से आपको एक एक वर्ड ध्यान से पढ़ना है अपने क्वेश्चन पेपर का. Okay, after going through this, reading the question paper, prioritize yourself. अपने mind में एक बार सोचिए which question you will be doing first and which question, what would be the strategy. For example, if I think I'll be doing question number 2 first, then 3, then question number 6, then 5. This way prioritize yourself. अब आप कैसे prioritize करेंगे? Do that question first which you know the best. सबसे अच्छा क्वेश्चन जो आपको आता है, सबसे पहले आपको वही अटेम्प्ट करना है. सी स्टूडेंट, क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 इज अ कंपल्सरी क्वेश्चन एंड यूजुअली एन इजी क्वेश्चन. मेरे को लगता है इफ आप सबको अगर कॉन्सेप्ट्स अच्छे से आते हैं, आप क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 तो बहुत इजीली क्रैक कर लेंगे. तो हमेशा फोकस रखना है, हमेशा ध्यान देना है कि आपको कौन सा क्वेश्चन सबसे अच्छे से आता है, वो वाला क्वेश्चन आप स्टार्ट करिए पहला करना, फिर उसके बाद दूसरा करिए, फिर तीसरा कीजिए. अब now, if I know question number 2 best, I will do question number 2A, 2B in the same sequence. आपको 2A और B एक साथ ही करना है. Okay, then you come to question number 4. 4A you have done, but 4B you don't know. आपको 4B में confidence नहीं है and you don't want to do at this stage. Leave an appropriate space for that question. आपको उसके लिए space छोड़ देना है. Then now start doing next question, that is question number, could be question number 1. Okay, so all the subparts should be done in a one go only, or you should leave the space for that. Okay, another thing, whenever you are starting a new question, a new part, start with a new page. Okay, it is always better to write neatly. आप जब शुरू में करते हैं, usually क्या होता है, हम जब शुरू में पेपर करते हैं, हमारी राइटिंग बहुत अच्छी होती है और एंड में आते आते हमारी राइटिंग बहुत ज्यादा खराब होती है, बिकॉज हमारे पास टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट हो जाता है. इसलिए मैंने आपको बोला शुरू में जो क्वेश्चन आपको सबसे अच्छा आता है वो कीजिए. यू विल सेव सम टाइम देयर यूटिलाइजिंग योर टाइम इन अनदर क्वेश्चन. Okay. Now, one which I usually one query which I usually receive from student is, ma'am, मेरी balance sheet tally नहीं हुई. How much time should I devote on that question? For example, question B, 4B comes from the sole proprietor and your balance sheet is not tallied. Okay, it's okay, not to worry. Try to solve, give it one more go. Try to solve that question. एक बार और try करिए उसको solve करने के लिए कि मेरी बैलेंस शीट शायद टाली हो जाए. एंड इफ यू आर अनेबल टू गिव सॉल्व दैट क्वेश्चन अगेन इन अनदर 5 minutes, लीव दैट क्वेश्चन. बिल्कुल छोड़ दीजिए उस क्वेश्चन को, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन ट्राई कीजिए एंड एट द टाइम ऑफ रिविजन तब उसके बाद कीजिएगा. रिमेंबर स्टूडेंट्स, आपको स्टेप मार्किंग मिलेगी. अगर आप आधा घंटा एक ही बैलेंस शीट को टैली करने में लगा देंगे, यू विल टेंड टू लूज मार्क्स इन अनदर क्वेश्चन विच यू आर अनेबल टू डू ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ड्यू टू टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट. सो इसीलिए आपको इतना ज्यादा टाइम डिवोट नहीं करना एक ही क्वेश्चन पे कि आप दूसरा क्वेश्चन नहीं कर पाए. आपके पास 180 मिनट्स हैं, 100 मार्क का पेपर है, 1.8 मिनट फॉर ईच मार्क. सिंपल, 1.8 मिनट फॉर ईच मार्क्स. ओके, और अब आपको ये सोचना 1.8 मिनट मतलब आपको सबकी रिविजन भी करनी है. तो आपके लिए डेडिकेटेड टाइम होना चाहिए 160 to 165 मिनट्स. पूरा आपको जो 100 मार्क का पेपर है 165 मिनट्स में आपको कंप्लीट करना है. उसके बाद व्हेन यू आर रिवाइजिंग योर पेपर, यू आर रीडिंग, गोइंग थ्रू द पेपर, यूजुअली वी टेंड टू लीव दैट. हम लोग छोड़ देते हैं क्योंकि हमारे पास इतना टाइम ही नहीं होता कि हम रिविजन कर पाए, एक बार पढ़ पाए पेपर को. बिल्कुल नहीं छोड़ना, 165 मिनट्स में पेपर कंप्लीट करना है और नेक्स्ट 15 मिनट्स आपको डिवोट करने हैं अपनी रिविजन में. जो बैलेंस शीट आपसे टैली नहीं हुई आपको उस टाइम टैली करनी है. आई होप आई एम बीइंग क्लियर. ये आपकी सारी स्ट्रैटेजीज हैं आपको पेपर के टाइम डिवोट करनी है. अब ड्यूरिंग द एग्जामिनेशन हॉल्स बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं. वी हैव सो मेनी सराउंडिंग्स विद अस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, किसी का पेन गिर गया, समवन इज टेकिंग इन अदर शीट and we tend to lose our concentration. Do not to do this, please students, because what we do is when we are solving the question and if our concentration is being lost, हम लोग कभी कभी carry forward भी गलत करते हैं. A figure is 56575 and we tend to write 56557. So ये जो numbers का mingle हो जाता है ना, it creates problem for us. So सारे क्वेश्चंस बिल्कुल फोकस और बिल्कुल कंसंट्रेशन से करना है. एट दिस स्टेज दिस 3 hours आर वेरी क्रूशियल एंड इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू. यू शुड नॉट डू नॉट फोकस, स्किप योर फोकस ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम. आपने प्रायोरिटाइज कर लिया, आपने माइंड में सोच लिया आपको ये क्वेश्चन किस टाइम करने हैं, उसी की तरह ही कीजिए. एंड ट्राई टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चन पेपर वेरी नीटली. साफ लिखिए, सुंदर. और आप साफ तभी लिख पाएंगे, तभी अच्छे से पेपर सॉल्व कर पाएंगे व्हेन यू हैव प्रैक्टिस्ड प्रॉपर्ली. आपने अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस किया है तो आप अच्छे से कर पाएंगे. बट यस, यू शुड प्रैक्टिस प्रॉपर्ली. ओके, you make it easy for the examiner to check your answer sheet. He'll make it easy for you to give marks. Okay, okay, if you want me to take queries, I'll take the queries now. Okay. Okay. Dhwani is saying that, ma'am, I have a query regarding the calculator. See student, आपको calculator वो use करना चाहिए जो आप regularly calculator अपना practice के time use करते हैं. You should carry an alternate calculator. एक calculator extra जरूर रखिए अपने पास. But yes, प्रैक्टिस जो क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करेंगे वो उसी से कीजिए। इन केस अगर वो रुक जाता है तो आप दूसरा यूज कर सकते हैं। एंड कैलकुलेटर कौन सा यूज करना है दैट विल बी मेंशन इन द एडमिट कार्ड। एंड प्लीज फॉर दिस क्वेरी यू कैन आस्क टू एग्जाम डिपार्टमेंट foundation_ इन एग्जाम हेल्पलाइन @ICAI.in, उस पे पूछिए। ओके ध्वनि, बट यूजली प्लीज कैलकुलेटर वही लेके जाइए जिसपे आपने प्रैक्टिस की हुई है, वेयर योर हैंड नोस which questions you have performed. Okay. निखिल आप पूछ रहे हो, निखिलेश, कि जर्नल एंट्रीज में नरेशन लिखना कंपलसरी है। यस, आप लिखिए, कंपलसरी है या नहीं आपको लिखना ही लिखना है, इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट। अगर क्वेश्चन में स्पेसिफिकली लिखा है इग्नोर नरेशन तो आप नहीं लिखिए, पर अगर क्वेश्चन में लिखा है देन यू शुड डू ऑलवेज राइट नरेशन। ओके। ओके, लेट मी सी। ओके, just let's take a break for 2 minutes. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Hello.
Okay, let's start. Okay, do you have some query? If you have any query, you can please ask. Okay, Dhwani is saying, ma'am, can you repeat where should I ask the query regarding the calculator? Please ask at foundation, FOUNDATION, foundation underscore exam helpline @ ICAI.in. Okay, you can ask query, you can mail your query there. So I've already discussed with you how should be what should be the paper pattern, and how you should effectively utilize your time in your study in your examination hall. Okay, so this way if you will be able to solve your paper in another 165 minutes, in 165 minutes you'll have 15 minutes to devote on revision, where if you will be devoting 15 minutes on your revision, we'll be getting a hang of it, what mistakes or if there is anything which you need to revise or something like that. Okay, so website, you already know about the website. Effective memory techniques, you already know how to memorize your concepts. You should be very through with your concepts. Now yes, points to be borne in the mind while practicing the question. Work out the problems from test your knowledge sections of your study material independently. We usually forgot, we usually don't. I told it is, I already discussed this, that we tend to leave this test your knowledge questions, since it is when it is very time consuming, it takes a lot of time, and sometimes we lose the patience coming at the end of the chapter. But yes, we get questions from test your knowledge questions. So please go through test your knowledge questions thoroughly and properly. Compare your solution with the provided answers. If you are done with the chapter, please solve these questions independently yourself. Okay, and then compare your answer with the question with the answers given in the book. Okay, at that time mark the problem which contains some important adjustment. For example, in inventory chapter, illustration 3 and illustration 4, it contains many things, so you should always focus on the important adjustment mentioned there. Okay, using a highlighter or examination point of view, please focus and highlight that area. ठीक है, you at the time or at that time mark the problems which contains important adjustment from the examination point of view using a highlighter, so that at the time of revision you will be getting a hang of it. Yes, this point has to be taken care of. For each marked question, briefly summarize the treatment of the said adjustment and annotate the summary at the end of that question. See, if you are doing a question and at the end of the question, annotate that summary, write that summary, that what was there in that question and why the adjustment was important and little typical. Okay. When you practice the same chapter subsequently, pay attention to those mark questions, especially pay attention to those mark questions where you are lagging. If you are unable to solve a question, please mark it, so that you would be knowing that here you were lagging, and at this stage you can solve the question easily and appropriately. And where you were lagging, I was lagging in this point, specifically in this point. For example, okay, the students, I would like to highlight one more point, that many times the questions will be based on the study material. There could be a small questions, for example a question on FIFO and LIFO, which is mentioned at the chapter 4 inventory. The trick in the question is they may ask you some administration cost also. And what we do is, ma'am, this is not there in our study material. This is an out of syllabus question. How, student, how is this an out of syllabus question? The administration cost, storage cost, all these are already covered in the theory of the inventory chapter. What we do is, as a student, we start the chapter from the practical questions only. Illustration number 1, let's try, because we don't focus on the theory part. So theory is equally and appropriately important. What are the attributable cost attributable to the inventory? included in the inventory or exclusions from the cost of inventory. These are equally important. When we are going to the theory of chapter 7, preparation of sole proprietor, there is a question on provision, difference in provisions and reserve. And this is not covered in our study material. Where is this? There is no question from the test your knowledge questions on provisions and reserve, but it is very well covered in our theory. Contingent liability, contingent assets, contingent liabilities. So these points to be taken care of. I'm telling you again and again, the concepts should be clear. You should understand the concepts and write it in your own language. But yes, whatever you are writing, write appropriately. That your message is delivered to the examiner. That you know the concept. Okay? Write the answer, the meaning should be correct what the about the concept. So language should be very clear. Okay. There are 5 sections which contains 11 chapters that I have already discussed with you. I've already told you how to best utilize time until the examination. That also I've discussed. How to improve marks. How to improve marks in your examination. First, write the answer which you know the best. Repeating this again and again. Start with the question which you know the best. Attempt all the subparts at one place only. And if you do not know one subpart, leave the space. Appropriate space, maybe 1 or 2, whatever you feel is appropriate. And then do the another question. But yes, if you're doing question number 5, 5A, B, C should all be at one place. And write the question number very properly. Question number को बिल्कुल clearly लिखना है आपको. Okay? Eligible speed and handwriting. See, good handwriting will come with good practice. And speed will also come with good practice. Okay? Okay, now the working notes, one of disclosures. Disclosures are important. Assumptions, disclosures are assumptions and working note. See, we have chapter 8 accounting for not-for-profit organization. So where we need to prepare income and expenditure account, then balance sheet, maybe sometimes opening balance sheet also, where we usually calculate subscriptions. And what we do is when we are preparing income and expenditure or receipt and payment account, calculation of subscription we are doing at this account itself. Advance received, outstanding for this year, plus minus, and then we are coming out with the final figure at the outside. Student, this is not a correct way of doing it. I would all request you to write it properly. For if the question is asking you to prepare income and expenditure account and balance sheet, closing balance sheet. So you prepare income and expenditure, closing balance sheet, and then it should be backed by the working notes. Working notes should have the opening balance sheet, right? If you require to calculate the capital figure. And then when you are preparing, when you're calculating the subscription figures, do all the calculation of subscription in a working note rather than doing it in the account itself. It will make your paper very clean, neat and clean. Give a working note. If you're doing it in the working note too, write the working note too over there, but do not do all the calculation over there only. Okay? Sometimes salary advance or wages advance, any expenses advance or outstanding. That ways we try to do it over there only. You should not do over there. You should always do at the end, writing it with a working note, backed by a working note. Okay, so working note and the working note numbering should be given and it should also be shown in the main solution. First main solution and then the working note, because I receive query that whether we should write working note first or working note at the end. Main solution first and then working note. Okay. Assumption, if you think the question is incomplete and if you think there is some uncertainty in the question, you can give a assumption that the question has been solved using this assumption. Okay, you should write that. How to manage time in the examination? Make optimum use of 15 minutes given for the reading. I told you your concentration should be at peak for this 15 minutes. Okay, go thoroughly all the questions quickly. Select the questions that you will be attempting from all the questions. Mark the questions which you will be attempting first. Allocate an estimated time for each questions based on the difficulty level, and marks carried, keeping aside 10 to 15 minutes for revision. I told you we have to devote 10 to 15 minutes for the revision. For that, you have to complete your paper in 165 minutes so that you are able to solve the paper. Adhere to the time allocated. Okay? How to attempt question in exam? Give all necessary working note as a part of main solution of the problem. When you do the main solution first and then working note, write working note. And if there are many approaches to solve the question, if you think that there is some information which is uncertain and you can be, so this question can be solved by 2 3 approaches, then mention the assumption to be carried out in the solution, since it is based, or it is the basis on which the solution is derived. The approach to be selected should depend upon the information and the requirement of the problem. See, assumption backed by should be the most appropriate assumption. Don't give a hazy assumption, a haste assumption. Approach should be, the assumption should be backed by this question. Okay, that this could be the best assumption, ये सबसे appropriate assumption है इस question को solve करने के लिए. Allocated an estimated time for each question based on the difficulty level, and marks carried, keeping aside 10 to 15 minutes for the revision. देखिए students, if you know that you have a strong hand on four features of shares and reissue of share question, so devote less time on that. You will be able, and if you are very through with the practice, आप 10 to 12 minutes में भी ये question solve कर सकते हैं. 12 minutes में भी ये question solve was. And now if you are saving some time here, ये question 15 marks का question है और आपने 3-4 minutes बचा लिए, ये वाले 3-4 minutes आप किसी और question में use कर सकते हैं. Maybe a partnership question is a little difficult one, आप वो वाला question, ये वाला time उस पे use कर सकते हैं. But yes, you should have some strong points also. Okay. What are the general mistakes usually committed by the students in the answer sheets? Dhwani wanted to ask something. She wants to unmute herself. Please unmute yourself. Okay, Dhwani, पूछिए क्या query है?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
Ma'am, I want to ask that is it necessary to prepare the LF and date column as they are
हाँ.
not prepared in the study material?
See, आप अगर prepare कर लेंगे तो कोई problem नहीं होगी. It's okay. If you don't want to prepare, but you should prepare rather. LF column तो है. LF कॉलम तो दिया हुआ है. डेट उन क्वेश्चंस में नहीं दिया होगा. डेट is not mentioned over there, where there is nothing, no information given for the date. If no information is given for the date column, you should not make date. But LF column you should always prepare while preparing the balance, the journal entries. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, one more query, please. Ma'am, I want to ask that sometimes this happens that in a case of retiring partner, the sacrificing ratio is same as the old ratio between the remaining partners. So how I can represent this thing in the working note, that how I have calculated the sacrificing ratio?
There is a table mentioned in the study material also. So you prepare it that way only, na? I'll tell you the illustration. Wait.
Yes, ma'am.
See, even if you know that sacrificing ratio is the same, you just write a line in the working note. It is the same, is stating that the both are same. That's it. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
And
you, ma'am.
sometimes see, if you see illustration 10, which is for Arav, Nirav, and Purav. Here in this question, I think there is no change in the sharing ratio. So nothing is mentioned. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can either write a line, and if there is no information available, see, if that will be same if there is no information available about the new ratio, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you don't need to write anything regarding that. When you are preparing a goodwill entry, when you are writing a goodwill entry in your working note, then just write it in the narration. That is has
Okay,
been
ma'am. That
calculated
it
in
is same
sacrificing
as.
ratio in this. Yeah, tell me.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
You're
you very
welcome.
much.
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Hmm.
Ma'am, this is Arnav Kala.
Okay, Arnav.
Ma'am, I am also facing one difficulty in requirement of a partner.
बताइए, tell me.
Ma'am, illustration 9 of the module.
Illustration 9. Hmm.
Ma'am, meaning I am unable to understand the last entry.
बैंक टू बीस कैपिटल अकाउंट टू सीज कैपिटल अकाउंट, ये वाली एंट्री की बात कर रहे हैं.
यस मैम, ये अमाउंट कैसा है मैम, समझ में नहीं आ रहा.
सी, मेरे को इसके लिए देखना पड़ेगा. ऑल आवर स्टूडेंट्स आर आल्सो सिटिंग. आई थिंक द टोटल कैपिटल इज कैलकुलेटेड. यहाँ पे देखिए, ये आपको आपने वर्किंग नोट 3 देखा.
मैम देखा, पर मैम वो अमाउंट वेरी कर रहे हैं.
कैसे अमाउंट वेरी कर रहा है, मतलब मुझे बताइए. आपको ये पता चल गया एसेट्स कौन से हैं, एडिशनल बैंक बैलेंस कैसे आया.
यस मैम.
एसेट्स माइनस लायबिलिटी आपने कर लिया,
यस मैम.
और इसको आपने सैक्रिफाइसिंग रेशियो में किया होगा 76/250 को.
हाँ.
गेनिंग रेशियो में, सॉरी.
हाँ, गेनिंग रेशियो में. पर मैम जो नीचे वर्किंग नोट में अमाउंट दिया हुआ और जो एंट्री में अमाउंट दिया हुआ वो वेरी कर रहे हैं ना मैम.
ओके. ओके. और देयर कुड बी सम टाइपो एरर आल्सो. ये जरूरी नहीं है ये इसी का ही है हो. ये देखिए, आपका ये जो फिगर्स है ना, आप देखिए नेक्स्ट पेज पे पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट बना हुआ है. ये जो फिगर है ना, ये क्लोजिंग कैपिटल की फिगर्स है. जो वर्किंग नोट 3 में 20 शेयर और सी शेयर दिया हुआ है, दिस इज द क्लोजिंग कैपिटल. ये क्लोजिंग कैपिटल कैलकुलेट की गई है. तो क्लोजिंग कैपिटल विल बी कैलकुलेटेड इन द न्यू रेशियो, राइट. दैट इज 2:1. 76/250 को आप 2:1 में डिवाइड करेंगे ना, विच इज कमिंग आउट टू बी 50,833 एंड 25,417 पॉइंट्स में आ रही है फिगर. आप सुन रहे हैं अर्नव.
यस मैम. यस मैम.
दिस इज अ क्लोजिंग कैपिटल फिगर. क्लोजिंग कैपिटल की फिगर है ये. और जो ये ऊपर थर्ड एंट्री है ना आपकी, जो वो है, दैट इज कैश बॉट इन बाय द कॉन्टिन्यूइंग कैपिटल. जो कैश आया कॉन्टिन्यूइंग पार्टनर जो है, जो रिटायर हो रहा होगा, आप उसको देंगे ना कुछ अमाउंट.
यस मैम.
ये वो वाली फिगर है.
पर मैम ये फिगर
500.
पर मैम ये फिगर डिराइव कैसे हुई समझ में नहीं आ रहा.
60 से कौन सी 73,750.
यस मैम.
वेयर इज योर चैट. यू प्लीज, आई गिव यू द नंबर. आप प्लीज उस पर फोन कीजिए, और इधर मेल योर क्वेरी BOS मोबाइल ऐप पे करिए. मैं आपसे डिस्कस करूंगी ये. द क्वेश्चन इज
ओके.
एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. ये एक मिनट रुकिए. 73,750. ये देखिए, ये बैलेंसिंग फिगर है आपकी पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट की. पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट देखिए, नेक्स्ट वर्किंग नोट नंबर 4.
ओके मैम.
देखिए वहां पे फिगर दी हुई है बाय बैंक 60,333.
अच्छा. अच्छा, हाँ मैम, मेरा ध्यान नहीं गया था मैम. ओके, समझ गया.
7. ठीक है. ओके.
मैम वन मोर थिंग.
हम्म.
मैम अगर मैम आज के बाद कोई क्वेरी आए
हाँ
तो मैम
जी.
हाउ कैन वी कांटेक्ट यू.
आपके पास मोबाइल ऐप है जहाँ पे BOS क्वेरीज का वो ऑप्शन है, आप वहां पे पूछ सकते हैं मोबाइल ऐप पे क्वेरीज.
ओके,
ठीक है।
थैंक यू मैम।
ठीक है, the common mistakes, we were discussing some common mistakes. See, specifically common mistakes. The students exhibited lack of in-depth knowledge. This I am been discussing again and again. आपको सारे concepts thoroughly पता होने चाहिए, which is very important. Okay. One of the common error committed by the student is wrong carry forward of the amount. This also I have discussed. आप गलत amount नहीं ऊपर लेके जाएंगे in case if it is a wrong amount from one page to another page. Okay, this resulted into mistake in further computation, which whenever the amount is used, and loss of marks. Please write the figures in a very focused manner. Okay, the answer of the students is sometimes incomplete since one or two parts of the questions are skipped while reading the question. So this amounts to reading very reading the question with thorough concentration. Many students did not provide all the working notes which form part of main solution. आपको main solution का backing होनी चाहिए with working notes. Students did not mention the assumptions considered while working the solution, which leads to deduction of marks. You आपको सारी assumptions, everything you should write it properly. The twist in the questions put the student in the state of confusion, which was ultimately reflected in the solution. I told you we tend to read only what we want to read. So it is always, you should always read your question with an open mind and open eyes. Students give irrelevant details even for small questions, thereby spending unnecessary time on the question, which is not required. हम कभी कभी कोई जरूरत नहीं होती, हम assumption कभी कभी irrelevant दे देते हैं, कभी कभी हम solution irrelevant assumption irrelevant दे देते हैं, कभी कभी details irrelevant दे देते हैं, which is not required in the question. So it is advised that students should restrict their answers according to the marks allocated to that question. ओके जितना क्वेश्चन में पूछा गया है, अगर क्वेश्चन में बैलेंस शीट बनाने के लिए नहीं पूछा गया है, प्लीज डू नॉट प्रिपेयर. एंड इफ इट हैज बीन आस्क्ड, और अगर वहां पे एक छोटा सा पार्टनर्स कैपिटल, इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल भी कैलकुलेट करने के लिए बोला गया, प्लीज डू प्रिपेयर. द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन शुड बी रेड थॉरली. Do's and don'ts: do not go for selective study, but yes, strategically study. Smart study is very important. At the time of preparation or revision, focus on theoretical concepts and understanding each concept for the development of analytical skills. Do adequate written practice of the illustration and test your knowledge questions. This will also help in time management and attaining speed. Be careful while using the information given for solving the question. Assess your preparation level by attempting the previous question papers under mock examination conditions. Calculators, which calculators are allowed? Battery operated up to 6 digits, 12, up to 6 functions, 12 digits, and 2 memories are allowed. Scientific calculators are not allowed. How to round off? Rounding off में बहुत सारी queries आती हैं. How to round off? Rounding off is generally preferred up to 2 or 3 decimal places. Like 65.888765 is rounded off to 65.89. That's it. 888 देखिए 65.888 उसको हमने करा है 65.89 और 889. बस आपकी लेवल पे, आप इंटरमीडिएट और फाइनल लेवल पे और आगे सीखेंगे, बट इस स्टेज पे आपको इतना बना देना है इसको. एंड इफ इट इज लाइक 65.4443, then you should keep it 65.44. Okay, rather than keeping, see it is 4443, so you should write 65.44. Okay. How to manage time in examination? We are unable to answer all the question in given time. Practice solving all the question of study material. Solve the mock test paper also in the examination situation. So this I've already discussed with you, how you can secure good marks. Read the questions thoroughly and attempt those questions first which you are confident. Read the options thoroughly. Okay, first write up the questions which you know the best and attempt all the subparts at one place. Give all the necessary working note as a part of main solution to the problem. Okay. Okay, let's see if there is any query. If there is any other query, you can please ask your query. One of the queries is an extra time for handicapped students. See, please mail your query to foundation_exam_helpline@ICAI.in. I'm not the right person to help you out. Okay. Arsha is asking, ma'am, is it compulsory to attempt paper in sequence? Can we start from question 5 or 6? Absolutely. This is your choice. You can start from any question. Question number 3, question number 4, 5 or 6. It's totally, but yes, please attempt all the subparts at one place only. Okay? Okay.
मैम
हेलो
Yes. Hanji.
मैम
Who is asking? Oh,
मैम अर्नव
बताइए अर्नव.
मैम वन मोर थिंग मैम, जैसे कि अभी आपने कहा कि मैम 65.4444 समथिंग कुछ है, तो अपन उसको 65.45 तक राउंड ऑफ कर सकते हैं। मैम
हाँ.
अगर मैं पूरे 65 या 66 ऐसे नहीं कर सकते?
नहीं, आप 4 ही लीजिए, बेटर यही है.
ओके
ठीक है. और कोई भी क्वेरी पूछ रहा था?
मैम यस माई सेल्फ ओमकार।
बताइए ओमकार.
मैम जैसे आप एक स्टूडेंट ने पूछा किसी भी सीक्वेंस में चलेगा,
हम्म.
उसी के रिगार्डिंग क्वेश्चन है मेरा
हम्म.
कि मैं जब आप क्वेश्चन 2 3 4 मतलब जो समथिंग कर रहा हूँ 1 कंपलसरी छोड़ के,
हम्म.
तो उसमें A B C या जो 1 2 3 जैसा रहता है रोमन में, उसमें मैं जो लगा वो स्किप कर सकता हूँ या
मैंने
कंपलसरी
आपको
जो क्वेश्चन।
ये मैंने आपको पहले भी बोला है, अगर आप वो स्किप कर रहे हैं आप उसकी स्पेस छोड़ दीजिए. वो क्वेश्चन तो करना ही है, आपको सॉल्व तो करना ही है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपको क्वेश्चन नंबर 2A करना है और 2B आपको नहीं आता, ऊपर क्वेश्चन नंबर 2B लिखिए और उसके लिए रेलेवेंट स्पेस छोड़ दीजिए, 1 पेज 2 पेज 3 पेज, एंड देन स्टार्ट सॉल्विंग द अदर क्वेश्चन. ओके.
थैंक यू मैम, यू आर अ बेस्ट गाइडेंस टू दैट. This is very helpful in an exam. Thank you.
Okay, okay. So we have come towards the end of the session. Thank you so much for the patience and listening for this. I hope the session was fruitful and helpful to you. But yes, it will be fruitful and helpful only if you apply all these things in your examination. For devote time on your study, on yourself. Keep yourself updated. Keep on studying again and again, practicing again and again, and see, this is not the only paper. You have another 3 papers also for the foundation, so focus on all the papers equally. I'm sure you all are good students. You all will come up with the flying colors and good marks. And please do let us also know on mobile app or through other mediums, mailing us at bosnoida@ici.in that you have got this much marks. We'll be very happy to see that. Okay, all the very best. Be calm, be composed. हाँ जी, एक क्वेरी और आई है, लेट्स टेक दैट क्वेरी ऑल्सो. बताइए निखिलेश जी, बताइए.
मैम जैसे कि एग्जाम में 120 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन होता है, उसमें तो वन फर्स्ट वाला क्वेश्चन कंपलसरी है, तो इधर 100 मिस आउट ऑफ 80 हमको करना होगा. तो इसमें जो है मैम, अगर मान लीजिए सेकंड क्वेश्चन नंबर सेकंड का अगर 3 क्वेश्चन दिया हुआ है और उसमें से हमको 2 आता है और 1 नहीं आता है, हम 2 कर लेंगे और फिर एक जो है उसको हम स्किप कर सकते हैं, फिर हम
आपका पूरा सेकंड क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 ही काउंट होएगा. ऐसे नहीं हो सकता ना कि आपका सारे के सारे क्वेश्चन काउंट होए. आपको एक क्वेश्चन छोड़ना है, आप 2 3 4 5 6 में से एक पूरा क्वेश्चन छोड़ दीजिए जो छोड़ना है। ओके, आप
ओके
अभी तक
थैंक यू।
12th में भी यही करते आ रहे हैं ना। ये थोड़ी ना आपको क्वेश्चन 2 का एक पार्ट पढ़ा है और क्वेश्चन 3 का एक पार्ट पढ़ा है और मेरे दोनों क्वेश्चन चेक हो जाएंगे, ऐसे नहीं होता। यू आर सिटिंग इन ए प्रोफेशनल एग्जामिनेशन। ओके, ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट, थैंक यू सो मच।